Welcome back to our channel, your premier destination for the most profound and detailed analysis of everything happening in Genoa City. Today is a beautiful day to dive into the intricate, emotional tapestry of our favorite characters. We are incredibly grateful for your continued support as we unpack the latest, heart-wrenching developments that are set to change the landscape of the show forever. Nikki Newman is a woman who has weathered countless storms, from her harrowing, decades-long battle with the demons of alcoholism to the unpredictable and often debilitating challenges of living with multiple sclerosis. However, the current physical agony she is experiencing transcends any of her previous medical hurdles, manifesting as unprecedented, excruciating migraines that threaten to shatter her elegant composure. These are not merely the stress-induced headaches of a corporate matriarch navigating the treacherous waters of family politics. They are blinding, relentless episodes of pain that leave her disoriented and utterly depleted. The sheer intensity of these migraines suggests a sinister underlying cause, a shadow creeping over her health that she can no longer mask with her trademark stoicism. As the pain intensifies, it becomes painfully clear that Nikki is standing on the precipice of a terrifying medical abyss, one that will demand every ounce of her legendary resilience to survive. Victor Newman, ever the astute observer and fiercely protective daughter, has watched her mother's physical decline with a growing, icy sense of dread. Victoria is intimately familiar with the nuances of her mother's multiple sclerosis, but her sharp analytical mind recognizes that these agonizing migraines do not align with Nikki's typical symptom flare-ups. The frequency and severity of the episodes have triggered blaring alarm bells within Victoria's consciousness, prompting her to question the root cause of this relentless suffering. Despite Nikki's stubborn attempts to downplay her symptoms and project an aura of invulnerability, Victoria's suspicions are multiplying by the hour. She sees through the brave facade, noting the subtle tremors, the moments of profound disorientation, and the sheer exhaustion etched into her mother's features, leading her to the chilling realization that something deeply and fundamentally wrong is occurring within Nikki's body. The timing of this terrifying physical deterioration could not be more tragic, unfolding against the backdrop of a bitter and deeply entrenched estrangement between Nikki and her formidable husband, Victor Newman. The legendary couple, whose love story has defined the very essence of Genoa City for decades, currently find themselves separated by a seemingly impenetrable wall of pride, anger, and mutual resentment. Victor's fury has been stoked to a boiling point by Nikki's unwavering loyalty to Jack Abbott, a perceived betrayal that the Newman patriarch simply cannot forgive or forget. Their interactions have been reduced to icy standoffs and bitter recriminations, with neither willing to surrender their grievances. Yet, as Nikki's health silently crumbles, this monumental clash of egos is about to be rendered entirely insignificant, overshadowed by the looming specter of a life-threatening crisis that will violently force their priorities to shift. The gravity of the situation was recently confirmed in a deeply revealing interview with the show's head writer, Josh Griffith, who shattered any illusions of a quick or simple resolution to Nikki's suffering. Griffith explicitly outlined that Nikki is hurtling toward a severe and terrifying health crisis, one that will completely upend the current dynamics of the Newman family. This is not a fleeting storyline designed for temporary dramatic effect. It is a foundational shift that will plunge Nikki into a desperate fight for her life. The confirmation of a major medical emergency for a legacy character of Nikki's stature signals a period of intense, heart-wrenching television, where the superficial conflicts of corporate espionage and petty rivalries are stripped away, leaving only the raw, vulnerable reality of human mortality. The impending crisis promises to be a grueling ordeal, testing the limits of Nikki's physical endurance and the emotional fortitude of everyone who loves her. Importantly, this catastrophic health scare is meticulously designed to serve as the ultimate emotional catalyst for a reunion between the estranged Newman patriarch and matriarch. Griffith's insights suggest that the sheer terror of potentially losing Nikki will be the only force powerful enough to shatter the hardened armor of Victor's resentment. In the high-stakes world of Genoa City, it often takes a brush with death to illuminate the true depth of a character's devotion, and this storyline is poised to deliver that revelation with devastating impact. The agonizing prospect of Nikki's mortality will act as a brutal awakening for Victor, forcing him to confront the terrifying emptiness of a world without his greatest love. The crisis will strip away the layers of his anger, revealing the foundational, unbreakable bond that has tethered his soul to Nikki's for countless years, setting the stage for a deeply emotional reconciliation. To fully grasp the magnitude of this impending shift, one must delve deeply into the complex and fiercely guarded psychology of Victor Newman. Victor is a man who demands absolute control over every aspect of his empire and his family, utilizing his immense power to bend the world to his will. However, a severe medical crisis is the ultimate equalizer, an uncontrollable force of nature that cannot be intimidated, bought, or outmaneuvered. Faced with the fragility of his wife's life, Victor will be plunged into a state of profound, agonizing helplessness, an emotion he despises and rarely experiences. This loss of control will break him down to his absolute core, forcing him to abandon his dictatorial posturing and embrace the raw, terrifying vulnerability of a man desperate to save the woman who holds his heart. The transformation from a wrathful patriarch to a desperate, grieving husband will be a testament to the transformative power of this storyline. The primary source of Victor's current wrath, which is Nikki's platonic but steadfast allegiance to Jack Abbott, will be entirely incinerated in the crucible of this medical emergency. For months, Victor has allowed his deep-seated hatred for Jack to blind him to his own wife's needs, prioritizing his ego over their marriage. But as Nikki's condition worsens, the absurdity of this jealousy will become glaringly apparent. The bitter feud with the Abbott family will instantly lose its significance when weighed against the terrifying reality of hospital monitors and grim prognoses. Victor will be forced to swallow his immense pride, realizing that his anger was a trivial indulgence that wasted precious time they could have spent together. The realization that he allowed petty grievances to separate him from Nikki during her most vulnerable moments will undoubtedly haunt him, feeling a desperate need to make amends before it is too late. As the narrative hurtles toward its inevitable, devastating climax, the audience must brace themselves for the chilling moment when Nikki's body finally succumbs to the relentless assault of her unseen illness. The tension is building toward a catastrophic collapse, a moment of sudden, terrifying physical failure that will send shockwaves through the Newman ranch. Whether it happens in the solitude of her bedroom or in the midst of a tense family gathering, the visual of the proud, elegant Nikki Newman crumbling to the floor will be a defining image of the season. This collapse will trigger a frantic, adrenaline-fueled race against time as the family scrambles to secure emergency medical intervention, plunging them into the sterile, terrifying environment of the intensive care unit. The suddenness of the collapse will serve as a brutal reminder of how quickly life can change, leaving her loved ones grappling with overwhelming fear and uncertainty. The ensuing scenes at Genoa City Memorial Hospital are destined to be some of the most poignant and emotionally shattering moments in recent television history. Viewers can anticipate the rare and profoundly moving sight of Victor Newman, the indomitable titan of industry, utterly broken and weeping at his wife's bedside. Stripped of his bespoke suits and corporate bravado, Victor will be reduced to a man begging the universe for a miracle, his terror serving as a testament to the depth of his devotion. He will likely grasp her fragile hand, silently offering apologies for his past stubbornness and desperate pleas for her to keep fighting. This raw display of emotion from a character historically defined by his stoicism will highlight the absolute severity of the situation, proving that beneath his hardened exterior beats a heart entirely dependent on Nikki's survival. The speculation surrounding the exact nature of Nikki's diagnosis adds a layer of intense, suffocating suspense to the unfolding drama. While her history with multiple sclerosis provides a baseline of medical vulnerability, the unprecedented severity of these migraines strongly points toward a new, far more sinister threat. Rumors of a potential brain tumor or a severe, life-threatening neurological complication have begun to circulate, painting a grim picture of the battle ahead. A diagnosis of this magnitude would require aggressive, harrowing treatments, forcing Nikki to endure unimaginable physical and emotional suffering. The revelation of the specific medical enemy they are facing will dictate the trajectory of the storyline, transforming the narrative from a mystery into a grueling war for survival, where every small victory is celebrated and every setback is felt with devastating intensity. A crisis of this monumental scale will undoubtedly trigger a massive ripple effect across the entire Newman family tree, compounding the tragedies they are already enduring. Nick Newman, currently fighting his own desperate, life-or-death battle against opiate addiction, will be devastated by the news of his mother's failing health. The psychological weight of knowing his mother is fighting for her life while he struggles to maintain his own sobriety could either serve as the ultimate motivation for his recovery or push him further into the abyss. Victoria and Abby will be forced to set aside their respective corporate and domestic dramas to rally around their parents, forming a united front against the encroaching darkness. The family will be tested in ways they have never experienced, their bonds strained by grief and fear, yet ultimately strengthened by their shared determination to see Nikki through this harrowing ordeal. As we observe this deeply moving storyline unfold, we find ourselves profoundly affected by the raw, emotional gravity of Nikki and Victor's journey. There is a genuine, aching resonance in watching a love story that has spanned decades face the ultimate, terrifying test of mortality. We feel a deep sense of empathy for the characters as they navigate the suffocating fear of loss, reminding us all of the fragile, fleeting nature of the time we share with our own loved ones. It is impossible not to be moved to tears by the prospect of Victor's impending heartbreak as his protective walls crumble to reveal a soul entirely anchored by his wife. This narrative transcends the typical boundaries of daytime drama, touching upon universal fears and the profound, enduring power of a love that refuses to be extinguished by anger, pride, or even the darkest of medical prognoses. Despite the grueling, tear-soaked journey that lies ahead, there is a vital beacon of hope embedded within the head writer's revelations. The assurance that love will ultimately conquer all suggests that Nikki and Victor are not destined for a tragic, permanent separation, but rather a profound, hard-won rebirth of their marriage. The road to recovery will be long, fraught with physical pain and emotional exhaustion, but it will be walked together. Victor will undoubtedly transform into her ultimate protector and caretaker, channeling his immense resources and fierce determination into ensuring her complete healing. This crisis, while terrifying, will serve to burn away the toxic resentments that have plagued their relationship, leaving behind a purified, unbreakable bond. They will emerge from the ashes of this medical nightmare stronger, more united, and deeply appreciative of the second chance they have been granted. The stage is now perfectly set for a storyline of epic emotional proportions, one that will redefine the legacy of the Newman family and captivate audiences around the world. The looming shadow of Nikki's health crisis casts a dark, suspenseful pall over Genoa City, leaving viewers anxiously anticipating the moment the storm finally breaks. Will Victoria's suspicions lead to a timely intervention, or will the family be caught entirely off guard by a sudden, devastating collapse? How will Victor reconcile his past anger with the desperate reality of his wife's fight for survival? The answers lie just over the horizon, promising a cinematic journey through fear, forgiveness, and the indomitable strength of true love. Keep your eyes glued to the screen, because the battle for Nikki Newman's life is about to begin, and it will be a saga you simply cannot afford to miss.